10 interviews in the oil and gas industry, presented to you by FPSOs and EnergyAsia. Prosafe Production, can you briefly tell us about your company?
Yeah, Prosafe Production has been established since 1990, always in the FPSO. Originally it was Nortrans, and then it was bought by Prosafe and went public in May this year. All right, it's on the Norwegian Stock Exchange. We currently have 10 FPSOs operating around the world, and our philosophy generally is to own the assets and operate it. We have all of the design capabilities and proprietary capabilities here based in Singapore, and generally we have the ship conversion also done in Singapore. So we normally take control of our own fate in designing and in operating. Based mainly in Singapore, all of our engineering staff, our operations, procurement is all handled out of Singapore.
And how many people do you hire?
Yeah, we did peak on the projects that we had been going through the facility, up to 650 here in Singapore, with another 600 around the world on operations. We would probably, because we're coming off the 3 projects and they're nearing completion, around the end of this year to the first quarter of next year, would be probably coming down to about 350.
What kind of projects are you working on in the Asia-Pacific region?
Okay, well, nothing in the Asia-Pacific except for a project for Apache Oil down in Australia in the Northwest Shelf, which is a first for us because it was a disconnectable turret system. It's moored in a cyclone area, and it's an essential requirement to be able to disconnect if a cyclone comes. So that is a first for us, and it was a significant project, and that gets loaded out here at the end of the year. We have another one which is a unique project for Murphy Oil in the Congo, which is a drilling FPSO, which is the first of its kind. So that's a unique twist to the traditional floating production system, but it also has a drilling capability. And the third project we're doing for Brazil, Petrobras, which is one of the larger FPSOs, gas FPSOs that's being constructed, all done here in Singapore, engineered and constructed here in Singapore.
You have something going on in New Zealand, is that right?
We had a project down there that's already been in operation with AWE on the Tui field, and that is operating successfully, but that was commissioned about 12 months ago.
So how has the global financial crisis affected your operations and the oil markets in general?
Well, I think it's a matter of how to go forward under this crisis. So I think whilst Prosafe do have funds available, we would be very careful on how we would spend that. So where the pressure is coming in on is making sure that we're not at risk. So we have secure contracts, and that going forward we're not dealing with a company or a field that is at risk. So most of the credentials that we have to put forward to get finance would be very, very severe in making sure that we've got a strong client that we are dealing with. So I think whilst there are definite opportunities around, we would be very selective in picking where we would spend that best dollar.
And finally, OSIA 2008. What do you hope to achieve at this blockbuster event?
Yeah, I think it's exposure. I think we have an obligation to the market and suppliers and vendors. So I think it's good exposure. I don't believe that we will walk away with a couple of FPSOs under our arm, but certainly I think it's good exposure, and I think putting Prosafe out in the market I think is a positive.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Steele.
Thank you.